Yes, friends. Next video from Dhruva Edutainment and Video classes. Friends, this video is of what, friends? Working of heart. Friends, write notes on the working of the heart of man. This question from Unit 2A of Intermediate Second Year, friends. That is from Body, Fluids and Circulation. Come to NCERT, friends. This is Class 11, Unit 5, Chapter 18, friends. What is that question? Working of heart. Very, very important question, friends. Write notes on the working of the heart of man. See, friends. You know the structure of the heart, friends. See, structure of the heart has total 6 videos, friends. In that you have to forget about the 5th video, friends. You have to read that 5th video. You have to view that 5th video in the working of the heart, friends. So that video number is what, friends? Serial number 238 in our series, friends. Okay. Now see, friends. Working of the heart of man consists the following events. Friends. Working of the heart of man consists the following events or following stages, friends. What are these, friends? There are 3 stages, friends. One is nodal tissue, that is generation and conduction of the action potential by nodal tissue. Generation and conduction of the action potential by nodal tissue. What is second event, friends? Cardiac cycle. Third one, double circulation. Friends, come to nodal tissue, friends. Already I posted that video in our group, friends, in our series. That is video number 238. Or 5/6 of the structure of heart, friends. You view that video, friends. That is nodal tissue. Now come to second part of our working of heart, friends. What is that, friends? Cardiac cycle. Very, very important, friends. Cardiac cycle. Friends, cardiac cycle. See, friends, already we have a 2 marks question. Write about the cardiac cycle. Here this is 4 marks question, friends. What is cardiac cycle? See, friends, the cardiac events that occur from beginning of one heartbeat to the beginning of another heartbeat is called cardiac cycle. See, friends, what is the definition of cardiac cycle, friends? The cardiac events are the events of the heart that occur from beginning of one heartbeat to the beginning of another heartbeat is called as cardiac cycle. See, friends, complete cardiac cycle or a complete heartbeat includes 2 stages, friends. One is asystole and the one is diastole. See, friends, heartbeat has 2 stages, friends. What are they, friends? One is systole and then one is diastole. What is systole, friends? Systole means contraction of the heartbeat. Diastole means relaxation of heartbeat. Friends, one systole, one diastole becomes one heartbeat, friends. One contraction and one relaxation becomes a heartbeat, friends. So the contraction of the heart is called as systole. Relaxation of the heart, here you say heart or heart chambers. The contraction of the heart chambers is called as systole. The relaxation of the heart chambers is called a diastole, friends. So here you have to concentrate on these 2 words. What are they, friends? Systole and diastole. Systole means contraction of the heart chambers or contraction of the heart. Diastole means what, friends? Relaxation of the heart chambers or relaxation of the heart. See, friends, this cardiac cycle has 3 phases. One cardiac cycle has 3 phases, friends. What are they, friends? Atrial systole, ventricular systole and joint diastole. Friends, what is atrial systole? Contraction of the atria. What is ventricular systole, friends? Contraction of the 2 ventricles, that is left and right ventricles. What is joint diastole, friends? Relaxation of the 4 chambers of the heart, that is 2 atria and 2 ventricles. Okay, friends. Now we'll go in detail about these 3 phases, friends. First we'll take atrial systole, friends. Atrial systole. What is atrial systole? You know friends, atria are the upper two chambers. They receive, right atrium receives blood from the body part, that is impure blood. Left atrium receives blood from the lungs, that is pure blood. The contraction of these two atria is called as atrial systole. When atria contracts, blood enters into the ventricles, friends. Okay, friends. Now see what are the steps involved in the atrial systole. See, friends, atrial systole. Contraction of atria is called atrial systole, friends. Contraction of the atria is called atrial systole. See, friends, you know, we have nodal tissue. Nodal tissue is of 5 types, friends. SAN, sinoatrial node, AVN, his bundles, bundle branches, and Purkinje fibers. Okay, friends. For that, you view video number 238, friends. Now come to SAN, friends. What is SAN, friends? Sinoatrial node. Sinoatrial node acts as a pacemaker. The sinoatrial node is present in the right atrium on the upper side or top side of the upper side of the right atrium, friends. Okay. The SAN now generates an action potential. See, friends, what is atrial systole, friends? Contraction of the atria is called as atrial systole. How it starts? It needs what, friends? Contraction of the atria. The contraction of the atria or initiation of the contraction start in the SAN, friends. What is SAN? Sinoatrial node, which is present in the top or right, in the right atrium and the upper corner of the right atrium, friends. The SAN now generates an action potential which stimulates both the atria to contract simultaneously, causing the atrial systole. So when SAN generates action potential, what happens, friends? That action potential stimulates both atria to contract. Due to this, what happens, friends? Both atria contracts. That is called as atrial systole. So what is the duration of the atrial systole, friends? You know, friends, cardiac cycle requires total time for cardiac cycle 0.8 seconds. For atrial systole only 0.1 second, friends. Atrial systole lasts about 0.1 seconds only. Very, very important, friends. See, friends, due to atrial systole, what happened, friends? This increases the flow of blood into the ventricles by about 30%. One more important, friends. When atria contracts, the pressure or the flow of blood leads to what, friends? Leads to ventricles. But here only 30% of the blood enters into the ventricles. This is very, very important NEET question and MCET question, friends. When atria contracts, when atrial systole takes place, then only 30% of the blood from atria enters into the ventricles, friends. It means atrial systole accounts about 30% of the filling of the ventricles only. See, friends, remaining 70% of the blood flows into the ventricles before the atrial systole. See, friends, only 30% of the blood is flowing into the ventricle during atrial systole. Remaining 70% of the blood flows into the ventricle before atrial systole only, friends. Before atrial systole only. You have to remember it. Okay, friends. Now come to the next, friends. See, friends, you have to remember this important point. What are the important points of the atrial systole? See, duration 0.1 seconds. Both atria contracts. Ventricles are in diastolic state or relaxed state. 30% of the blood pumped into the respective ventricles. Means what, friends? From right atrium, blood enters into the right ventricle. From left atrium, blood enters into the left ventricle. Tricuspid and bicuspid valves opened, you know, friends. Tricuspid valve is present between right atrium and right ventricle. Bicuspid valve is present between left atrium and left ventricle. When atria contracts, that is during atrial systole, the tricuspid valve and bicuspid valves opened. Due to that, they allow the flow of blood from atria to ventricles. Next, friends, important. Valves of Eustachian and Sebaceous valves closed. See, friends, the valve of Eustachian and valve of Sebaceous closed. Next, semilunar valves closed, friends. Semilunar valves are present in the ventricles, you know it, friends. At the opening of the aorta, pulmonary aorta and systemic aorta, they closed. So these are what, friends? These are the events which occur in the atrial systole. Friends, very, very important. What is the duration of the atrial systole? 0.1 seconds. Both atria contract during atrial systole. Both ventricles on relaxed state, that is in diastolic state. Only 30% of the blood pumped into the ventricles during atrial systole. Tricuspid and bicuspid valves opened. Eustachian valve and Thebaceous valve closed. Semilunar valves closed. Okay, friends? That is about the atrial systole. Now come to ventricular systole, friends. What is ventricular systole? See, friends, during atrial systole, the action potential pass from the SAN to AVN, friends. During atrial systole, the action potential which is generated in the sinoatrial node, that is in the pacemaker, pass from whom, friends? Pass from SAN to the AVN. What is AVN, friends? Atrioventricular node. It is also present in the right atrium, lower left side of the right atrium, friends. Now, this AVN acts as relay point. You have to remember it, friends. AVN acts as relay point. When AVN receives impulse, it gives it to the bundle surface. Bundle surface supplies to the bundle branches. Bundle branches supplies to the Purkinje fibers. Due to this, what happened, friends? Ventricle systole. That is called as ventricular contraction takes place. That is called as ventricular systole, friends. So during ventricular systole, the action potential passes from the AVN to bundle surface. From bundle surface to bundle branches. We have two bundle branches, friends. That is left bundle branch and right bundle branch. From bundle branches to Purkinje fibers. From Purkinje fibers to entire muscles of the ventricles. So this is the flow of action potential from AVN to his bundles, friends. His bundles to bundle branches to Purkinje fibers. Purkinje fibers to muscles of the ventricles. Due to that, what happens, friends? Ventricular systole takes place. So this causes a stimulation of the ventricular systole. It lasts about 0.3 seconds. Friends, what is the duration of the ventricular systole? 0.3 seconds. What is the duration of the atrial systole? 0.1 seconds, friends. Okay, the ventricular systole lasts about how many minutes, friends? 0.3 seconds. Now, see, friends, ventricular systole increases the pressure causing the closure of the atrioventricular valves. Very, very important, friends. When ventricle contracts, when ventricular systole takes place, what happens, friends? Atrioventricular valves, what are they? They are tricuspid valve and bicuspid valve. They close respective openings. The tricuspid valve and bicuspid valve close respective openings. That is right atrioventricular aperture and left atrioventricular aperture. When this tricuspid and bicuspid valve closes the concerned or respective openings, what happens, friends? They prevent the backward flow of blood. Means what, friends? They prevent the flow of blood from ventricles to atria. Okay, friends. Now, very, very important, friends. Closure of the AV valves, friends, atrioventricular valves, means tricuspid valve and bicuspid valve, results in the production of the first heard sound, that is known as lub. Friends, when the first heard sound, that is lub, is produced in human beings, when the tricuspid valve and bicuspid valve are closing the respective openings, that is opening present between the right atrium and right ventricle, opening present between the left atrium and left ventricle. Then we will get first heard sound. What's that, friend? That is lub. Lub is produced during the closure of tricuspid valve and bicuspid valve, or you may write atrioventricular valves. As the ventricular pressure increases further, see, friends, the semilunar valves guarding the pulmonary artery and the systemic aorta are forced to open. See, friends, first closure of tricuspid valve and bicuspid valve takes place. Next, what happens, friends? Opening of the semilunar valves which are present at the opening of the pulmonary aorta and systemic aorta, they opened due to force of the ventricles. Next friends, due to the opening of the semilunar valves, see friends, due to the opening of the semilunar valves, the blood from right ventricles flows into the pulmonary aorta, that is impure blood friends, and from the left ventricle, the blood from left ventricle flows into the left systemic aorta, that is aorta friends. So when the semilunar valves opened, then from right ventricle impure blood enters into the pulmonary aorta, from there it reaches to the lungs friends. From left ventricle blood enters into the left systemic arch or systemic aorta and reaches to the various body parts friends. Okay friends. Now see friends, what is the pathway of the impulse, how the electric impulse or action potential moves. It is produced in the SAN friends, sinoatrial node, then reaches to the AVN, atrioventricular node. This is pacemaker friends, SAN is pacemaker, AVN is the relay point. From there it reaches to the bundles office to the bundle branches. LBV, left bundle branch present in the left ventricle, right bundle branch present in the right ventricle friends. From there it reaches to the Purkinje fibers. Okay friends, that is the pathway of the electric impulse or action potential or contraction. Now see friends, once again, ventricular systole. You have to write these words friends. Only this. What is the duration of the ventricular systole? 0.3 seconds. What happened during ventricular systole? Both ventricles contract, that's called systole. What happened to atria? Atria are in diastolic state or in relaxed state. During ventricular systole, blood pump into respective aorta. What are respective aorta friends? One is pulmonary aorta, another one is systemic aorta. Next, what happened to tricuspid valve and bicuspid valve? Tricuspid and bicuspid valves closed. What happened to semilunar valves? Semilunar valves opened. Okay, these are the events which occur in the ventricular systole. Okay friends. Now come to the joint diastole friend. Last phase in the cardiac cycle. Friends, joint diastole means what? Relaxation of the both atria and ventricles. That is called a joint diastole. Friends, joint diastole is also called a cardiac diastole. Friends, joint diastole is also called a cardiac diastole, means relaxation of the four chambers of the heart. See friends, in this all the four chambers of the heart, that is two atria and two ventricles are relaxed. Friends, in the joint diastole or cardiac diastole, all the four chambers of the heart, that is two atria and two ventricles are in relaxed state or in relaxed position. See friends, when atria are relaxed, when atria are in relaxed position, what happens friends? So what are the events occur when both atria are in relaxed state? See friends, blood from the vena cava, you know friends, we have one superior vena cava, one inferior vena cava, flows into the right atrium. Now friends, blood from the pulmonary veins flows into the left atrium. See friends, blood from the vena cava enters into the right atrium friends. Blood from the pulmonary veins. So pulmonary veins carry, all veins carry impure blood friends. But pulmonary veins are the veins which carry pure blood from lungs to the left atrium. Blood from the pulmonary veins flows into the left atrium. Now, when ventricles are in relaxed position, next friends, this is joint diastole, you know. Now first atria are in relaxed position. When ventricles are in relaxed state, AV valves, tricuspid and bicuspid valves are opened. See friends, next, blood from right and left atria flows into the respective ventricles. Means from right atrium, the blood enters into the right ventricle. From left atrium, blood enters into the left ventricle. Through what friends? Through atrioventricular apertures. The semilunar valves of the pulmonary atria and aortic arches are closed. This is important friends. In joint diastole, only these valves are closed. What are they friends? They are semilunar valves which are present at the pulmonary aorta and aortic arches are closed. Okay friends. Now, the closure of the semilunar valves prevent the backward flow of blood from pulmonary and aortic arches into the respective ventricles. Next friends. Next, very important friends. Closure of semilunar valves results in the production of the second heart sound, that is dub. Friends, We have two types of heart sounds. One is lub and then one is dub. Lub is due to what, friends? Due to closure of tricuspid valve and bicuspid valve. Dub is due to what, friends? Due to closure of the semilunar valves. Very, very important, friends. So closure of the semilunar valves results in the production of the second heart sound, known as what, friends? Known as dub. Okay, friends. Now come to the events which occur in the joint diastole, friends. Joint diastole is also called as cardiac diastole. Joint diastole means what, friends? Relaxation of the both atria and ventricles. In this phase, two atria and two ventricles are in relaxed state. During this phase, blood through veins enters into the respective atria from their respective ventricles. No blood flows out of ventricles because semilunar valves are remain closed. The duration of the joint diastole is what, friends? 0.4 seconds. Next, blood from vena cava and pulmonary veins enters into the respective atria. Next, blood from atria enters into the respective ventricles. Tricuspid and bicuspid valves are opened. Semilunar valves are closed. But here important, friends, very, very important, friends, during joint diastole, 70% of the blood enters into the ventricles, atria and ventricles, friends. So 30% of the blood enters into the ventricle during atrial systole. Remaining 70% of the blood enters into the ventricle during joint diastole. You have to remember it, friends. Okay, this is about the cardiac cycle, friends. Now see some important MSET question, friends. The duration of the cardiac cycle is about 0.8 seconds. How can you calculate it? Time calculation of atrial calculation, friends. What is the time for atrial systole, friends? 0.1 seconds. Remaining 0.7 seconds in the diastolic state, friends. See, friends, total cardiac cycle requires 0.8 seconds. So what is the time or what is the duration of the atrial systole? 0.1 seconds only, friends. So in the remaining 0.7 seconds, atria are in the diastolic state. See, friends, total 0.1 plus 0.7, total 8 seconds. Now come to atrial diastole. That is atrial diastole is 0.7 seconds. Means what, friends? Ventricular systole 0.3, joint diastole 0.4. Total becomes 0.7. See, friends, atrial systole, cardiac cycle minus ventricular systole plus joint diastole. Friends, please no need to write this in your IP. This is for MSET and NEET. Okay, friends. Now ventricular time calculation. Ventricular systole 0.3 seconds. Ventricular diastole 0.5 seconds. Total 0.8 seconds, friends. Now ventricular systole 0.3 seconds means what, friends? Cardiac cycle minus atrial systole and joint diastole, friends. Okay. Now atrial systole what, friends? 0.1 seconds. Joint diastole 0.4 seconds. So 5 minus 8 becomes 3, friends. Now come to ventricular diastole. What is that? 5 seconds. Atrial systole 0.1, joint diastole 0.4. So total becomes what, friends? Ventricular diastole. See, friends, once again you see this is a cardiac cycle, friends. So it is easy to us. You have to draw this. For atrial systole 0.1 seconds, ventricular systole 0.3 seconds, cardiac diastole or joint diastole 0.4. Total makes what, friends? 0.8 seconds. This is one cardiac cycle, friends. Okay, friends. Now come to cardiac output. Friends, another important bit, cardiac output. Okay, friends. We will discuss about the cardiac output in our next video, friends. Thank you. Good day.